Hey everyone, in this video we're going to show you how to draw a Canada Goose. So grab your pencils and let's get drawing. So first things first, the Canada Goose is a bird. It's a well-known bird, and we're going to give you some facts and I'm going to draw the bird for you. So first things first, I would say that you can just start off by drawing, the shape of the bird that you want to draw. We're going to actually start with the beak over here. And again, we're just going to draw the head, the neck, and just the part of the body, not the whole feet and the tail and all that. The head will kind of come up over here. And kind of a flat head, not flat, but just not round, if you will. The neck is very defined, it goes straight down. And then, of course, the actual bird will be over here. We're just going to draw this area. The underside of the beak will be here, and sort of like this. We'll fix the beak. And then we're going to go down and go thinner as you go down. But then just as you go thinner, right as you go thinner, it's going to protrude out. And the kind of the belly, I guess, will kind of come around here. So we're going to draw there up. So I'll probably just erase a bit of that over there. So once you have your outline, you can really just kind of reevaluate. If you made the beak a little too big, you can certainly fix that up as well. I think this protrudes a little much, so we'll just go down and we'll just get the beak just over here, and we'll go from there. So let's see if we can just make this look a little bit better. By the way, the Canada Goose, which is plural Canada geese, really can be distinguished by other types of geese by its black neck. So you'll see we'll draw a nice black neck over here. So if you're curious about that, and the Canada Goose is I think the largest of the geese species, and it's kind of the official bird of Canada, so you can know that as well. So we're going to keep this going. I would say that the beak definitely has to have some flat lines, so let's flatten this out. The eye will typically be just about here. Okay. And I think we still need to get this beak a little bit smaller, so we're going to bring this down just a little bit over there, and the head will go back like that, okay? The interesting part about the Canada Goose as well is that it has this white area. The white area kind of goes from underneath the chin to up and over like this. This is just one example, but that area would typically be white, and then black feathers all around it. So what we're going to do is leave that white, and we're going to draw some black feathers all around. So, follow along. We're going to do that. Yeah, so they say that the average weight of a Canada Goose is about between 5 and 14 pounds, but I believe that the largest was actually 20 pounds. So 20 pounds is like as large as they go. So keep that in mind, but typically 5 to 14 pounds. So what we're going to do is just try to establish another black area. So this is all black over here. And then down here, we're going to have some feathering that goes back. And this is also going to be black. And it's just going to kind of go around the back part of the neck. So just follow along as I do this. And typically when you draw feathers, you might want to just draw a lot of tiny little lines. So what I'll do is let's speed this part up. I'll go from the bottom to the top of the neck, and I'll start to draw these black little feathers here. So follow along, we'll speed this up, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. We really just did the foundation of the neck, and it's just a lot of little lines, so I just wanted to speed that part up. You could see on the left side I went darker. This kind of shows the 3D effect of the neck, and typically you're going to be darker, for example, on this side because, in general, regardless of where your light source is coming from, you might want to go darker on the left to show some curvature on the neck. We'll darken this up as well. I just wanted to come back with you, give you a couple facts, and kind of keep this moving. So I'm going to keep going over here. And as I do that, I'll just let you know that the average Canada Goose lives about 10 to 25 years on average. Some living as long as 30. And the longest Canada Goose that has ever lived was 40 years in captivity. So really interesting to know that as well. What I'm doing is I'm just putting these fine little lines over here. And really, you know, in doing this, what I'm really trying to do is just separate the white feathers from the black. And it's just a lot of these tiny little lines that are going to be drawn just around this area. So you kind of want just the tiniest little bit of overlap, like in seeing a little bit of lines going into the white. It just separates the feathering from the black to the white. And you kind of want to get just enough very fine little lines there, and that's really what we're doing here. So I'm going to keep this going. So I won't speed this part up, I'll just go slowly. What else can I tell you about the Canada Goose? They actually start searching for a mate as early as 2 to 3 years of age, 2 to 3 years old, and if a mate dies, so if they find a mate and the mate dies, they actually search for another mate, which is really interesting. I guess some animals, if the mate dies, they don't. So really interesting to know that as well. On the eye, we want to go nice and dark, just on the left side, and just the tiniest little bit of light on the back part of the circle, and that'll kind of create that that realistic eye shape, if you will. So we'll keep it like that. And what we'll do is we'll keep this feathering going. We'll just kind of keep it going. It'll get darker. I think just for now, we're going to keep it looking like this. Sometimes I like to start at the beak, and the beak can kind of go like this. And you can kind of work your way from the beak and go away. That's kind of one strategy that I like to use. It helps you define your beak, and it helps you kind of just work away from the beak as well. So this is just what I'm doing here, and you can do the same as well. The beak itself, sometimes I believe the bird has, I guess, just the ever slightest little opening here. And let's use a darker pencil to show this. There's actually like a bit of a darker kind of opening here. I'm not actually sure too much about it. I just know that it's there like that. So if you have that, you might also find that the beak has this like lower part over here, kind of, I guess the top and the bottom separated there. And then I would say that this curved part at the tip isn't there. You should actually come just a little straighter as well. So straighter on the beak will help you make this look realistic. And if you want, you could even kind of just give a bit of a curvature to the tip of the beak. I think that will look a lot more realistic as well. So I'm gonna kind of put some shading here, and I'm gonna go darker at the top and lighter at the bottom, just to give it some effect. But I'm gonna keep that dark spot there. I think that dark spot should stand out, and I think it'll look a lot better if we can just kind of let it kind of blend into this beak. So you can kind of see what I'm trying to do here, right? So there we go, that's looking a lot better, and let's maybe get darker down at the bottom. If you feel like it's starting to blend in, you can just give it a hit with a darker pencil over here, which is all I'm doing right now. And you could just like redraw the darker spot of the top that we drew as well. So just kind of reestablish some of those lines as well. So another like very interesting fact about the Canada Goose is that they actually will attack anything that they deem that is encroaching on and starting to get into their space. I've seen this firsthand, and it's been very well documented that people have been attacked by Canada geese as they've been kind of walking by, and they don't know, they go by a nest or what have you, and they'll just come out and attack you and kind of flail their wings around and make this loud noise. So you definitely need to be careful if you're going to be you know, crossing paths with, or, you know, in the space of a Canada Goose. So I would definitely caution you to like be careful. I think it's something that we all need to be careful of, so just be aware. Definitely I've heard some horror stories as well, so you have to be aware of that. You can see what I'm doing right now is just kind of using a darker pencil, which is the 7B, and I'm just putting in some darker feathers. The great thing about this beautiful, beautiful animal and bird is that the dark feathers really show really well. It's just like such a beautiful like coat, if you will. And what I want to do is just kind of make sure that there's some darker feathers showing here. So a nice 7B, pretty sharp, doesn't have to be the sharpest, but pretty sharp, just to get enough in terms of the thinness of the pencil as it hits the page. So definitely keep that in mind as well. Let's speed this part up. I want to fill this in. What I'll start to do is just fill this all in from top to bottom. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. You could just see I filled in some shading and just kind of filled this out as best I could. You have this nice bright white piece, which I want to keep bright. But you know what, just underneath here, I think what we can do is just add the ever slightest little bit of, we'll call it shading. So I'm gonna actually tighten up the neck. I think the neck could just be a little bit tighter this way. So I want to erase that little low spot and get rid of that double chin that this guy had. And what I want to do is just add some shading here. So if we're going to continue the pattern of these feathers, what you might want to do is just draw some lighter kind of feathering at the bottom. Just like that. And just ever so slightly just give it a hit with your finger if you want, and just kind of fill that in. That's all I did. You can see that just gives it a bit more effect. And if you have any smudging that's occurring, you know, this happens a lot with me, just kind of erase it and just continue to work on the portion of your drawing that is on the center, okay? So what I would say next is down here, we're just gonna kind of do this lightly, but the transition from the black to the white is interesting. I did kind of draw like a very light shadow line here, so I'm going to carry that down. What I would probably say is that over here, we might just get a very fine kind of, well, first of all, these are white feathers down here. Let's get a nice sharp pencil, a nice H pencil, to really just kind of get some of these lighter feathers drawn. And the way that I'm drawing this bird is that although these are white, there's a bit of a shadow down here. So based on where my light source is coming from, I definitely want this to be a bit more gray in color. So I'm just kind of adding that kind of tone down there. So that's what I'm gonna do. While I do this, what I can tell you is that a baby goose is called a gooseling. Gooselings, and they typically learn to fly between 2 to 3 months of age. So the first 2 to 3 months they can't, but after 2 to 3 months they can learn how to fly, which is kind of interesting. And for the first year, they stay with their parents. So for the first year of their life, they stay with their parents. And then they kind of like, I'm guessing, they kind of morph and kind of go onto their own and do their own thing. So, you know, just interesting to know that as well. You can see what I'm doing here is just trying to get some of these lines going in the direction of the belly. So the belly kind of goes this way. I do want to just add some smudge to it just to let the lead kind of move around. And over here is really interesting because you have some feathering happening. And the question is like, how do you transition from the black to the white? And it's really just about the tiniest little bits and hits that you want to transition. So you might find that down here, you have like, sometimes there's banding that occurs. the banding is just kind of a bit of black that kind of goes into the white. So you might have these kind of, these lines that kind of look like this, if you will, if you get me. And if you do have that, you might find that they're a bit bigger as you go down. So down here, you might find that occurring. So think about that. You do sometimes have this like kind of curved pattern on the drawing as well. So sometimes you can have this kind of effect that looks like curved lines kind of going around. And again, you do want to be darker at the belly. It kind of shows for proper shadows and stuff. So you might want to be darker down here. Okay. So we're just going to keep working on this just a little bit more. How are you doing, by the way? Are you drawing along? Are you just watching along, looking for some facts? Are you, you know, maybe getting some info before you do your drawing? Either way, let us know. Love to know. Love to hear from you. I'm actually based in Canada, so this bird has definitely some significance over here. And, you know, like I said, it's a beautiful bird. Beautiful, beautiful bird. So when you transition over here as well, sometimes you do have, I would say just like the tiniest little bit of like lines that can occur over here. And I want to kind of draw this in a way that looks realistic. So notice how I did the lines like this. I kind of want these like, some of these zebra-like lines to occur just over here. And it can carry down. In fact, I mean, I won't go too far down on the drawing. I said I wouldn't. But these lines definitely exist, and they kind of have this, like I said, zebra-like pattern. So don't be afraid to kind of just move kind of up and down like that. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna kind of keep this going. I think that one was a little too long, so I'm just gonna erase it. I think we'll probably keep it to that. Like we'll probably do the neck and the body over here. I mean, I could spend another hour doing the whole body of the bird. Maybe I'll do a secondary drawing. But I think for now, I'm pretty happy with it. At this point, I would say, you know, just look at what you have and see if there's any areas that you need to identify that need some fixing. If you do, there's nothing wrong with that. Just clean it up. Clean it up as you need to, no problem with that. For me, I just want to clean up a couple areas of smudging that kind of got a little out of hand. And like I said before, the beak sometimes, you know, doesn't have to have a point. It can actually have a bit of a rounded end. So don't be afraid to just create that rounded bit over there. I think I'm pretty good with this. I hope you enjoyed the video. There's plenty more to come, so don't be afraid to subscribe, like, comment, and share. We love having you. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.